Let's talk with Casey McCall, no stranger to the First Talk Studios. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Hal. Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department. We met you, of course, when we first met you, I think you were with the Salvation Army.
That's correct.
And you were doing a great job there. You have moved on to work with the Hickory Police Department. So let's talk a little bit. First of all, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me about you and your job, your position in the community, if you would. So I'm going to get you to raise that microphone up just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Go right ahead.
Thanks, Hal. So I, of course, as you said, came from the Salvation Army. I was the director of shelter services there for almost 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
And this opportunity arose. The chief here, Chief Wisnett, and his staff came up with the idea for this position. And that came from the data. It came from the number of homeless that our community, our law enforcement interact with, and seeing the same folks over and over and over again, and not really becoming self-sufficient and back into society. So it was kind of the chief's brainchild to come up with this position, and he asked me to come and do it, and I jumped at the chance.
So you're working with the homeless population and the
Correct.
police department, and I guess the city of Hickory and all the different areas as well, right?
Correct. Yes, I work with so many different aspects, from for-profit to nonprofit to law enforcement agencies. Anyone I can, anyone that's willing to work with me.
So you know a lot of different people in the area.
Correct.
So that must have been good for people to meet you as classmates and participants, so that they kind of know you and what you do. But tell me a little bit about what you took away from the program and what you were able to learn about. Because I'm going to guess, like Ms. Sakatas, you'd been here for a while, and you figure, I'm working with all these nonprofit, I'm working with all these different groups. I probably know everybody, but you maybe got in and discovered that maybe there were some people that you wanted to meet and needed to meet.
Absolutely. And if I'm honest, I walked into this thinking with the apprehension that, I may not have a lot in common with certain folks if they're a banker, or if they're, because I did live the nonprofit lifestyle for so many years.
Right.
But then you quickly learn really that you just build those relationships with folks you didn't think you would have anything in common with, that frankly now are friends of mine that, flag me down in the park, or
right.
they call me up and want to do lunch, and
right.
and so it is. It was an amazing experience that frankly I didn't think I would be appropriate for, because before I was a leader, I had a supervisor or position. I was over
right.
staff. Now I'm a one person doing a job, but the chamber through leadership, reminded me that you're more than just a leader to your staff. You're a leader in your community. You're a leader to your clients that you work with. So that was one big thing that I came away with.
Well, I think that's wonderful, because we hadn't talked about that. But the person, the individual, the person that you are, was made better by
Correct.
Leadership Catawba. Not just the meeting the people, and not just the leadership, but you yourself as an individual took away maybe a new look at yourself and your position.
Absolutely.
Through what Leadership Catawba was able to bring. I think that's a very astute observation, when we're able to look at ourselves and say, this was it bettered me as an individual, which makes you a better person in the community. Which, and I'm sure that there were a lot of people who either wanted your business card or wanted to shake your hand, and like you say now, are talking with you. So that was one of the aha moments. Tell me about maybe some of the people that you met, or one or two of the folks that you met, that you said to yourself, wow, this is somebody who I had no idea was going to be in Leadership Catawba, or this is somebody I need to be aligned with due to my job. Any of those experiences?
How none stand out any more than any other.
Gotcha.
I feel, honestly, I came that way that with everyone I met in Leadership Catawba.
Gotcha.
You have leaders of hospitals, and we have two very nice hospitals right here in Hickory, and you have educators from CVCC that, a little farther down the line in the growth process with my clients may become an option.
Right. So all those,
education.
literally everybody you met had something to offer for your position and where you were. More with Casey McCall. We're talking about Leadership Catawba. More First Talk on the way. I like what you said earlier when we were talking about what it brought to you individually and the empowerment that it gave you as a leader personally, but also want to talk about maybe what you were able to bring to the group, because working with the police department, you have a platform and you're able to talk to people, but being able to talk to these other community leaders, did you find they looked to you a great deal for information and for opinions and for facts on homelessness in the area when they found out who you were and what you did? Did you find that maybe a lot of people were either at the time that you were in class or, hey, let's go have a coffee, or I need to know more about this? Did you feel like you were able to bring that to to Leadership Catawba?
Absolutely. No, I'm not sure if it wasn't me that brought it up every time, because
Right.
that's all I know. But absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. People would come to you and say, hey, I'm interested in the homeless in the area, or I'm interested in the or this camp, or what's going on with. I'm sure they had a lot of questions and maybe felt more comfortable in that situation, able to talk to you about it.
They did. There's a lot of misconceptions about
Right.
it, and it was good to be able to fill in some blanks for a lot of people in our community that don't have a true grasp of all the variables. So it was an enlightening experience, and I feel like I probably talked about homelessness about every day I was in the chamber.
Well, I think that's wonderful, though, because the folks who would join would have one-on-one access with you, where you were able to maybe talk in a different situation than a public forum. You weren't going to a church and presenting, during the worship hour or something. You were able to actually sit down and talk with people
Absolutely.
who you knew in the class, and to bring vital information in our community to these leaders throughout the community who said, well, they're able to go back and say, well, I was talking with the community navigator for the Hickory Police Department, and maybe we're a little bit off target. Here's what's really going on.
Correct.
Or this is really the situation with homelessness in the area, and you were able to give them that information that they could maybe get nowhere else in the community.
That's true.
I just think that's interesting. That's another reason, maybe not for you specifically, but people who are listening this morning and saying, wow, if I plug into Leadership Catawba, there's a great opportunity for me to maybe meet somebody to get plugged in to all the different things that are going on in the community. But you had a good time doing it, right? You got to meet a lot of folks and enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I'm begging Kim to let me do it again.
Oh, there you go. keep coming back. I want to thank you, Mr. McCall. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Casey McCall, Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department. And thank you for what you're doing for our community. You're doing the Lord's work out there, man. I truly believe that. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks, Hal.